Well, hey everyone, and welcome back to Kiki's Kitchen. Today we are going to make chocolate ice cream. If you remember last week we made vanilla ice cream, and it's a very simple and delicious. For any of you that have made it, I know you're loving it. And I got several of you that told me that you were running out to buy an ice cream maker and bought the same little, mine was $14.99, but it was years ago, like 5 years ago at least, at Walmart. So now it's $19.99, just like everything else, right? So we're gonna start. And couldn't it be easier? But what I want to do, because we're making chocolate and we've got a few more ingredients, you know, with our vanilla, it's just the half and half heavy cream, vanilla, and sugar. That's it. So we're going to use that basis of a recipe, but we're going to cut back on the sugar and add chocolate, of course. And I always make it in my trusty pitcher. So when we're going to do this one, we're going to start with our dry ingredients first, because cocoa has a tendency to clump. So what I'm going to do, where is my little strainer? I just had it, here it is I'm going to take a strainer, a little sieve. I'm going to put it over the top of this, and I'm going to measure my cocoa, just regular old cocoa, baking cocoa. And then I'm going to put it in this sieve and I'm going to push it through that way, because it really does have a tendency to want to clump up on you. So it calls for 3/4 of a cup of cocoa, and with cocoa, it's like sugar. I'm sorry, not sugar, flour. You want to put it in here with a light hand, and then we'll take the back of a knife and level it off, just like we do with the flour. And I thought I was getting low. You know, my niece, Raleigh, is a chocoholic. Oh my goodness gracious. And when she was little, we were baking, because she still loves to help me in the kitchen. And she smelled this chocolate, and oh my goodness, she wanted it so bad. I said, buddy, don't eat that chocolate. It's not like Nestle's Quick. Well, she put it in her mouth. She wasn't going to listen to me. She put it in. Out it came. All right, so if you'll see, I kind of overfilled it a little bit. And I'm going to take a back of a knife, flat part of a knife, and just get it all in there. Okay, so I'm going to put this into this sieve. And then I'm going to take the back of my spoon, just kind of stir it in here to get it to go through. And you'll see what I mean. It just, you know, it doesn't take much to get it to go through. Can you see that? I'm just stirring it, and it's going down in there. But if you don't do that, you'll get little chocolate beads, and you won't like it. All right, that was pretty easy. All right, so the chocolate is in. So we're gonna add, hang on one second if you will. I do believe I just heard my husband come in. I was right, it was him knocking at the door. So the next thing that we're gonna add to that, 3/4 of a cup of sugar, or 3/4 of a cup of cocoa that we put in here, is 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. Get this out of the way, put that in here. You know, I can't tell you how many people tell me, I can't see, I can't see. Now, I watch these videos before I post them, and if you couldn't see it, I wouldn't post the video. You have to click on the little box in the corner that gives you a full screen. Now, if you can't see because you're watching it on your itty-bitty iPhone, well, there's not much I can do to help that, but you should be, and believe you me, there have been some that I know that were way out of focus. Not focus, but out of shot of the camera, but most of the time, it's because you're not on full screen. So just click on full screen. Okay, so I'm packing it in here because it's what we want to do is pack brown sugar, and now in it's going to go. And to tell you the truth, I have some on this plate, and in it's going to go. It was just a little tiny bit anyway. So now we're going to add our white sugar. Here's our white sugar. And I want 1.25 cups of it. So here's a cup, back of a knife, across, back, and in. And here's a quarter. Back of a knife, flatten it out, and in. Okay. Oh, the honest to God, the secret to a deep, rich, beautiful chocolate flavor is right here in my hand, and that is espresso powder. Now, you can get any kind under the sun. See that? It says instant espresso powder. It does not need to be this brand, it just needs to be instant espresso powder. Now, if it's not that expensive, but I'm telling you, if you put a teaspoon of this in every chocolate cake you make, it just brings up the chocolate flavor tremendously. So, a teaspoon in, it goes. All right, so I think we've got all the dry ingredients now. Let me just check. Espresso, packed brown sugar, 1.5 cups or 1 1/4 cups of white sugar, and 3/4 of a cup of cocoa. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You see that? Now, the reason that I'm putting this in here is because it's easier to kind of dribble in the liquids and make it mix better once you kind of run a whisk through it, kind of get it mixed up together. So now, we're going back to what we normally do, which is our heavy cream, a quart of heavy cream, the whole thing, and I did shake it. Now let's see if I can pour it in here without wearing it. Pour it down the side. Normally I go bloop bloop and it's on my glasses, it's everywhere. Okay, so that's 1 quart of heavy cream in. 1 quart of half and half. And I get these things at Aldi. It's just the best price for anything. Everything's gone up even at Aldi, but it's the best price anywhere. Well, actually, before I put this in, I'm going to take this whisk and I'm going to kind of work it into this. And then I'll put that in but it's a little easier when you have less amount. Strategically taking my arm and taking that off camera here. Okay, see that? Nice and mixed. It's like the best chocolate milk you ever had. Okay, let's pour this down the side again so I can avoid the splush. Here we go. And the very last thing I'm going to put in here is a tablespoon of vanilla, which I can't believe I have a tablespoon left. I went to the store today. Did I remember to buy it? No. And that is it. That is exactly what I have. So, yay. Okay, that's trash. Okay, so now let's mix that up with my whisk. I'll tell you, I told you I was going to wear a little bit of it anyway. No, I like this shirt. So, I'm going to just mix until I can feel the bottom. You know, it's going to be a little grainy, but don't worry because it'll work itself out in your ice cream maker. Okay, now, because it's me and I have to, just to make sure I got everything I need. Oh my goodness, I can't wait for you to make this. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go out to the freezer because, you know, I always tell you to put your canister in the freezer while you're mixing this up. So 10 minutes it's in there because it's very thin aluminum and it'll get very cold very quickly. Just gives a little jump start to the freezing process. So let me go get that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I want to make sure that when you do this, you get way to the bottom. You might want to even take your whisk out and get a hard spoon to get to the bottom to make sure you get all of the, that powder is dry and it'll clump at the bottom. So you want to make sure it's good and mixed in. So then all you're going to do is pour it into your cold canister. Always look behind. See, there's a little bit of dry in the corner, but that's not bad. That's good, that's good. So now this is, so we got it in. Gotta put my paddle in and my lid on. So here's my paddle. You can put the rounded end, because obviously that's the hole. So that's got the end for the motor. So that goes in, the lid goes on. This piece here goes in to the little piece on the top. And then it will twist. Can you see that we've got little grooves here, little slits? And this will just turn one way or the other and lock in. Hold on a second. Sometimes it takes a second. And now we're locked in. See that? All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put ice on both sides. Now, I tell you this, I told you this last time, I am making this in my sink. I'm doing that because it's just easiest from, it's not gonna make a mess. It's not gonna go everywhere and make a mess. You can do it outside, but it'll melt in 20 minutes. I mean, it's 90 degrees out in South Carolina right now. So I do it in my sink. Here's the thing. My sink is off limits until this is done. Obviously, I know I have a power cord here and I know that I have water. So I'm telling you, if you're gonna do it in the sink, be mindful of your situation. Do not use the sink until this is done, okay? There we go. Public service announcement is over. So I'm gonna put some ice on both sides. And then I'm going to put rock salt down. I think I told you last time, and it's kind of weird to say this, but rock salt is what you want. You don't want regular salt. And if you don't have rock salt, you need to go to the store and get rock salt, because regular salt will not work. So it's ice cream salt, rock salt. Now you're going to put just, you know, I don't know how much that is. A couple sprinkles here. And then we're going to continue to layer it up with ice. Rock salt, as this turns, of course, and melts, and it'll make water, kind of a thing, slurry. It'll make an ice water, which is colder than ice. Does that make sense? But that's what you need the rock salt for, to keep. You think it's so that the ice won't melt, but it's because it keeps it at a temperature that is colder than ice. Does that make sense? I don't know. Just dump half your ice in the sink. That's all right. I'll just use it on the sink. Not anything we're going to eat. And my sink is clean. All right. So we're going to turn this. Because with this deluxe economy model, there's not even an on and off switch. You'll just plug her in and let her go. So I am going to do that, and I'm not going to make you listen to it. And I am going to actually time it so I can kind of give you a rough idea about how long it takes. Top it with a little rock salt, and we're off to the races. So I'm looking at the clock right now, and I will tell you that just to give you an idea about how long this is going to take. Now, you know, I'm going to stop it here. I'll start the video when this melts down, because you have to continue to replenish your ice and rock salt as it melts, right? So this is going to take about 30 minutes, but I'll be back to you just as soon as this melts down a little bit. Okay, bye. Okay, so can you see down in here how it's melted down? So I'm going to just add some more ice to it. And the other thing I wanted to show you was, look at this old tin dispenser. My friend Kimmy found it for me. She knows that I love this stuff, and she got it from me. I'm so excited. My other friend Beth actually gave me this one out of her mama's kitchen years ago. So I had to show you that. So I'll be back when I'm going to refill this with ice and let it continue to spin. And I'll be back when it's done. You hear that? She's getting tired. She's about to stop. Oh my goodness, timing is everything. I just actually walked in here, but you can hear when it starts to get very tired. So it's really done at this point in time. So I'm going to put you on pause, and I'm going to take the top off and dump the ice out and stuff. Well, actually, maybe you should see that. Now unplug it first. For those of you who maybe didn't get to see the other video, and twist the top off. See if I can do that. Sometimes by this time of the day, my hands don't want to work so good. There we go. Twist the top off. And a paper towel. I'm going to gently, you see that? Just get the ice off the top because I don't want any rock salt to get into my ice cream. Lift it out. And here it is. Here is the gold. Oh, goodness gracious. You know I can't stand it. I gotta get a spoon, right? I gotta get a spoon. I may not test a lot of things, but ice cream, I'm gonna test it. So you see how soft it is right now, but I'm gonna put it into a container. I'm gonna put it in the freezer and let it set up, and it'll be perfect. Perfect, perfect. Oh my goodness. Friends, I can't wait for you to make this one. This one is so good and so easy. No tempered eggs, none of that stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna post it and you'll have this, this recipe soon. So enjoy. Good night.